Hi everyone. First little note here. The tool I'm using only gives me 15 minutes, so I want to not let you know that if I end up disappearing, it's because I ran out of my 15 minutes. Hopefully, I can do this in less time than that, but that's about how much time this will take. What I suggest you do, excuse me, is this is where you submitted your paper, and these 4 or 5 concerns are what I want you to address. Please note that when providing feedback, I want you to start with a positive comments, then a suggestion about what you might do, or suggestion to the your um, classmate what they might do to strengthen that aspect, and you'll kind of go back and forth one at a time. And what I do to make this a little bit easier is I have it open here in 2 tabs. So for me, I don't know exactly which way you go as a student. If you'll click on peer reviews, or I have the speed grader, I can do it either way, but you can click and just open it in a new tab and go to it from there. And I decided I would go with Kimberly, one of the many people who offered up their essay for comments. So I want to just click on her essay, and I will say Kimberly. I guess I can't spell. I guess I didn't capitalize it. I always like to make this window bigger by dragging it down. I just like it that way. I know this is Kimberly because it says so at the top of the screen here. You're going to be doing these anonymously. Some people will put their names on it, some people won't. We'll just kind of see how it goes. So the first thing I want to do is I want to start with the introduction. That should provide some context to set up the whole of the essay, the problem to be solved that you need to develop, an awareness of research and different ways and different reasons and that sort of thing, and why this might be of interest or importance to your reader. So I'm going to read, and it says, when I think of research and my experience with it, and I guess I'll tell you I'm doing what is called a think aloud. So I'm talking and writing at the same time to let you into my brain, however dangerous that might be. Anyhow, so I guess I would like to say every essay requires a title. So Kimberly, give us a title. And I'm going to write that down. Don't forget that every essay requires a title, always and forever. Anyhow, when I think of research and my experiences with it, I'm reminded of the many hours I spent at the library sifting through book after book. I found an avid love for searching things out and learning more about them, and always looked forward to my research assignments. Excuse me. The amount of resources available to me depended upon the topic I was researching. I guess it would also depend on, are you at a library? Do you have internet? All that kind of stuff. There was always a specific format we'd have to follow in our papers. The research papers always were required to start with a thesis that I was supposed to try to support throughout the paper, and then concluded with my findings from the textbooks that I read and personal interviews that I may have had. This was the only type of research I knew, and the library people and people being my only resources. Okay, so I'm going to say the introduction gives the reader a good idea about the limitations of the research you have done in the past. So that's my a good thing. So that there, I see the sense of exigence. Maybe it could be more explicit, but I see it in there that Kimberly would like to do more researching to learn kind of stuff. So anyway, what you might do is illustrate this with a particular example if you can recall one. Since I don't know where you are in your educational trajectory, you could maybe recall something from English 101. Maybe you did it for some other class. I don't know, but that would be a good example in here. I'd also like to see a thesis that makes it clear why having done this sort of research is of interest or importance. I can kind of see it in there, but I want it to be more explicit. I don't want to have to guess at it. And so let's just kind of see what you come up with. So, but basically, an okay introduction. So we'll get onto the summary, and I've only got 10 minutes left, so I'm going to have to blitz through this. I'll probably only do one summary point. In research starts with a thesis statement. Don't forget, follow MLA title format. That means capitalize first, last, and important words of titles. But in this, research starts with a thesis statement. Emily, I can't say, states that in research we look for a definite answer, leaving no room for ambiguity or doubt. Sometimes definitive answers are what we're looking for, but in the thesis first approach, it can become harmful if we consider it the only type of research. Generally, general inquiries, don't like to have those two words together, begin with open-ended questions instead of a thesis, and can and should be used to explore, I would say, our areas of curiosity, conflict, and areas of uncertainty. As published articles are read, there will always be conflict of opinion, which can help us to make better decisions if we're open to them. The process of research is not always a clear path, but can be cluttered along the way. So we're getting into that researching to learn idea. When we start with a thesis, we're locked into our thoughts and not flexible to change. Research will better serve us if we begin with a question, using it as a tool to help our curiosity and find answers. Wazirski, or however we say her name, also points out that research can be backed by either a thesis, which only gives us information, or a question, which exposes one to new perspectives and information. Not all questions will have answers. The process of discovery can lead to more questions. Valuing questions over answers changes how we live by fostering curiosity, and to not feel challenged by these questions would require a cultural shift. In conclusion, culture tells us we should know everything, I wish, but there is a value in not knowing everything, because none of us does. Without research, we can't embrace the uncertainty and gain new findings. So generally speaking, a good assignment. All in all, good job with the summary. The only, wait, I want to say something nice or something positive. Now, not just to say it, I'm not just like making things up so Kimberly feels better about herself kind of thing, but to point out what she's done well. The summary covers the bulk of the big ideas. I'd have to review the summary to find where there might be some lapses. And provides a clear sense of the whole of the essay. There's always going to be omissions and that kind of thing. All you have to do is open up your newspaper or listen to the news and hear about the Mueller report and the various summaries that have come from it, and the consternation of this being included and that not, and so on and so forth. And you can see why it's important to do a good job with summaries, but also that you can't help but leave things out. So the best is to not skew things too much. So there are a couple of points where commentary leaks in. Such as where you write in conclusion. This is your voice, not the voice of the author. Watch for that. This is very minor. I mean, we didn't see a whole lot of that. And I might also suggest that the attribution Wazirski, I would just say Wazirski writes, because that is 2 words instead of 4, and I'm that kind of person. And this is a little more than halfway through, so I'd maybe insert it here, maybe insert it here. I'm just a person who likes balance, but that is a pretty minor quibble. And so we've only got 6 minutes left, so I need to go down to, I'm going to go to the second point. So hopefully do a good job with that. So enter that. So another takeaway I found beneficial from these essays was Allison's, it was Witt's insight into what research really means. She states that research is a 3-stage process: seeking information that's new to the researcher, interpreting, evaluating, organizing the information, reporting that information to others to affect action. And using this process, it requires us to take an active role in seeking that information. By using this process, the researcher would have a better understanding of what they are researching. The information gained is not just from looking things up, but came from many different approaches, and allows the researcher more opportunities to question, find the research, the type of research that I grew up doing, did not allow the last piece of Witt's three-stage process. Okay, so I'm still left kind of wondering, like, so why does that matter? And I want you to make that clear. And part of the way to do that is I would open this paragraph with the final statement and say, so I'm going to say, so there's a lot of good stuff here, but I'm running short, so I'm going to go straight to a suggestion here. Consider opening with the final sentence as it makes for a good topic statement. I didn't get to do this kind of stuff in the past, so you're looking forward to it, I hope. So anyway, so there's a good topic statement in this essay. This delivers your voice and perspective instead of relying on the voice and perspective of the authors. So we want to use the authors to promote our own perspectives. So Kimberly moves that sentence up to the beginning, then we have her making a point and using the information to support it rather than her responding to the information that is in the text. So after moving that sentence, provide some. So I accidentally hit the pause button, don't know how. So, but what I said was I want to see Kimberly move this sentence to the beginning of this paragraph. And then I started writing, after removing that sentence, provide some explanation as to why you think it matters that you didn't do this kind of thing in the past. Why is that? Did that stunt your growth? Did it help you focus? But I don't know. Kimberly is going to tell us why. So after that, if you could provide an example from your experience where you didn't do this open-ended research, that would be a good illustration. And so then go to the Witt material, or Wittis, however we say it, and don't forget the page number citation there. And so research is growth. For our growth, we only got a couple of minutes. I want to find out something. I want to say is right now there is not a great thesis statement. It doesn't make a claim, but often many of you will, with internet knowledge, vast amounts of one can come up with a lot of. Well, we see that Kimberly likes to do library research, which is a good thing. So research is important for our growth and learning. I agree. Through my many years of experience, I've found that the more I research into things, the better my knowledge to make decisions on them. The method of research that is used has come a long way from the thesis first method, but many of us will still use that thesis first method. It's a good idea to incorporate all these research styles into our practices. Doing so allows for more opportunity to get full benefits of the topics, discussions you're researching, allows your voice to be heard. With the internet and all its vast amounts of information, one can come up with a lot of resources. It's just not the same as the feel of true pages between your fingers and hours at the library. That may be so. I'm not sure if I agree, but that doesn't really much matter. But what we want to do is think about, so what I'm looking for here is something I see in the conclusion, I have less than a minute, that you prefer the library research to doing so online. What you might do to make this clear is to describe how you wander the aisles and just notice books and such. Relying on serendipity, which is one of the values of doing that sort of research. That's something we don't get when we research online. We don't get to see a book next to another book kind of thing. So I only have 8 seconds. My time is about up. hopefully this is helpful to you, and do